I want to do like one more question. This is a super chat from Bear, which I didn't even see you donate this, so I appreciate you. What would it take for you to consider this great off season for the Pistons? What point should the front office pursue superstars to pair with Cade?
I think what we consider a great offseason for the Pistons would be getting Beasley back on an affordable deal. Overpaying, I think, would be very, very troublesome because I like Beasley a lot. I love the energy he brings. I love his shooting prowess. I love, what he's grown to be, even as a scorer. Like, I don't even think he's strictly just a shooter. Like, I think he did a really good job of growing as, like, an attacker and floating,
Hmm.
jumpers over the defenders. But finding him at a reasonable, deal, I think is going to be important. Um, Somehow getting back Schroeder on, a similar type of deal. And you know what? This is the kind of guy I am, at least in terms of trades and adding players. Sometimes you don't get the players you want. Sometimes you don't even make a trade at all. But I appreciate hearing that the GM tried. I appreciate hearing that they're not just saying, okay, we could just roll back what we had and, we're fine with what we have. Like, for me, I'm a Lions fan, and I hate seeing that Brad Holmes isn't even trying to add a top line defensive end to go next to Aiden Hutchinson. He's not even trying to get those kind of guys. That is driving me crazy. I want to, at the very least, know that Trajan is trying to find these guys. Hey, what would it cost for Isaiah? What would it cost for this piece right here? This piece right here. What would Nas Reed want here? Positive. Just at the very least, try. I don't want to see them come back with the hey, let's just let the kids roll out and take one more year of just sheer development. I feel like you should always be trying to fine tune your roster in some way, shape, or form, especially when it's such a young foundation around it. So yeah, for me, and this is just me personally. If anybody else has a different view, I totally understand. But I would be okay just knowing that they tried to dip their feet in the water of trying to get another stretch forward that would fit with this team, along with the other moves that I suggested as well.
I know I was listening to I know it's completely off topic. I'll answer your question in a minute, Bear. But Trajan said that when he first got here, he got told no by so many agents, so many teams when he was
Right.
cold calling people. Like
Yes.
Trajan leaves every stone unturned. Like he's going to make the call, see what it takes. If the teams are interested, cool. If they're not, they're not. He's not going to get his feelings hurt. To
Mm-hmm.
your Brad Holmes point, I heard his explanation on 97.1 why he didn't go and try to target an edge rusher. And he was just like, "Oh, what would you rank Aiden Hutchinson?" You'd probably say he's like, "What, top 10 edge rusher?" He's like, "Yeah, those guys are hard to find. That's why I didn't go out and get one." He was just like, and like my explanation with that, like I can understand his thought process, but at the same time, it's just like it's frustrating as a fan, especially a Lions fan, because like
Yes.
who knows if Aiden Hutchinson is going to be the same player as he was, pre-injury. Obviously, there's all the the videos out right now where he's
Mm-hmm.
still kind of favoring his leg, and that's to be expected. He
Of
broke his
course.
tibia and fibia.
Right.
But to answer your question, Bear, what would it take for us to consider a great offseason? I'm hoping Malik takes the mid-level. Take the
Mm-hmm.
mid-level exception, Beasley, please. I promise you, you'll get paid because that would not affect the Detroit Pistons cap space. Go get Dennis Schroeder, re-sign him. And I think Dennis would like want to be here. Him and Malik are longtime friends, and
Yep.
I feel like he really liked being here. I mean, he compared this Pistons team to that Atlanta Hawks team that won 60 plus games and went to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I mean, the fact that Dennis is kind of giving like that stamp of like how it's kind of the same, I think is
Mm-hmm.
pretty huge. And I feel like he's a guy that likes to be here. So if you can resign those two, I think you're off to a great start. What point should the front office pursue a superstar to pair with Kate? I don't think it's this summer. I think where they try to target someone is next summer, and I'll explain why. Tobias Harris is off the books. Simone Fontecchio is off the books, which Tech could realistically be dealt this offseason. You never
True.
really know.
True.
But it would open up more cap space for the Detroit Pistons. Now, what I think is very important is the extension talks with Jaden Ivey and Jalen
Yeah.
Duren, which I kind of think go out the window sometimes with fans because they are extension eligible if you want to give them contracts. Now, you could say, hey, we like you, but we're just going to kind of wait and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Prove it year, right? Like they
Right.
could go into this summer, tell Ivy and Duren saying, like, we need a little bit more of a sample size to see before we make a long-term investment. And
Mm-hmm.
that could actually, benefit the Pistons if, they go into not this summer, but next summer and try to go get a big fish. Then you kind of have those conversations and you have more, more of a, concise idea of like what you want to do and how you want to build around this team. I think the way the Pistons have positioned the contracts kind of tell you it's not going to be a big move this summer. It'll probably be the following summer, just the way the contracts kind of fall off and people will be free agents. I would like laugh kind of in private, and I probably shouldn't laugh. Like if the Pistons do Tobias dirty twice in a row and make a big move and trade him, like bro, like come on, like you can't tell me that wouldn't be funny. Like you wouldn't kind of
Yeah.
like if you're just scrolling the timeline and you see a Shams tweet and it's like Tobias Harris, blah blah, and a first round pick have been traded for X player, I'd be like, bro, come on, man, how many times are you gonna do this to this man?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That would be pretty dirty to play on him. No, I don't know. I think Tobias has done an awesome job. Again, I would like to see him kind of retire with the Pistons at this point. He doesn't need to be a 30-minute player, for the next several years. Again, I think there's a role, where he is the guy that comes off the bench. It just gives you an extra scoring punch, against, second team guys. His ability to post, was huge for the team, but he was getting double teamed a lot. They're not going to be able to do that immediately if he's coming off the bench, going against your second string guys. Yeah, I would like to see, like I said, I'd like to see him stick around for a little bit longer. I just feel like he's been a huge asset in terms of the maturation of a lot of these guys, in terms of their preparation of, the postseason, in terms of, his ability to grow as a defensive player this late in his career. He was a pretty good rebounder for them as well. Like he did a lot of good things for them. And yeah, it like I think he understands the business of the NBA. It would just be kind of foul at this point, even based on
Yeah.
the success that they had, to say, all right, man, sorry, we got to run it back one more time. You're going back to the Clippers. Like, golly, bro, can I just settle somewhere, please? He's been trying to settle for a while. So I feel like this is the most realistic place he can do that. But yeah, Trey just got a lot of questions he has to answer, over these next couple seasons of what to do for this team.
I know. It's just like he obviously he's getting up there in age, and I was talking with Sean about this. He was just like, it's like I feel like Tobias could I think he said I feel like Tobias could like kind of fill that Al Horford role. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking about that. I was like, I was just like, I like the positivity. But I could definitely see this front office because this is a brand new front office, by the way. But like,
Mm-hmm.
if there's a deal to be made, we all understand it's a business at the end of the day. But I think you can't take away the professionalism and just the camaraderie that Tobias and these vets have kind of like brought into this locker room and reestablished
Absolutely.
new culture. But like, I'd be lying to you if I said I wouldn't kind of chuckle if I saw a tweet of a potential trade, whether it be this summer or at the trading deadline or even next year, where it's just like, yeah, Pistons finally bit the bullet and did it again. Like, because that would be so dirty though. At the same time,
It would. It truly would. He's again, a 2-year contract is, that's prime bait for these kind of discussions. And I think he kind of understands that. He didn't get a 3-4 year deal. He's like, hey, we like you, but we're not giving you what you just got with Philly. We're not going to repeat that same, issue. That's not going to happen. Again, I think he understands the nature of the business. He kind of talked about it a lot after the trade deadline as well. It's easy to talk about it with, a smile and, a clear head when you're not a part of the deals, but they're in a position where they kind of got to decide on that now. Like, again, we know who the names are now, but by midway next season, that could be totally different than some other names that could be available. So if he got to be the guy, then he's got to be the guy. I don't think he'll ever get like booed or like be,
No.
regarded as any kind of hated player of this team. I feel like he's always built up a good rapport when he's with the Pistons, based on a lot of other teams he's been on. So I think he'll be fine, hopefully, with with understanding the business, I guess.